we are going to take linear lines written in standard form and put it in slope-intercept form. Standard form looks like, okay, guys, ax plus by equals c. And slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Needs to be quiet. Guys, unless I have to move you again. Okay, Matt? So if you have 3x plus 2y equals 6, I want to put that so it looks like y equals. And the reason I want to do that is if I want to use my graphing calculator, I must have it in y equals form. I cannot enter this on a graphing calculator. Well, that's not quite true anymore. If you have an Inspire and you go through one of the drop-down windows, if you're specifically lines, there's a little place you actually can put that in, I believe. But you guys don't have Inspire calculators, so guess what? You actually have to solve for y. This is just like solving equations. Question? Do you need help? Oh, okay. Are we ready to try some problems? Okay. Here are the steps. I guess I'm going to write them up. So if we have 2x plus 3y is equal to 6, we first undo the adding. We subtract 2x. And when we do that, I think that may be my example too, but that's okay. This is 3y equals 6. We subtract 2x from both sides. Remember when we solved equations? It's the same thing. Just pretend there's not an x there, but it is there, so you have to bring it along. What happens when you add a 2x and a minus 2x? You get 0. So I get 3y. Now, I wasn't fussy about it. My last year's class said 6 minus 2x. I said, that's fine. If you prefer to have the x's first because you want to get it into y equals mx plus b form, then do that. But my kids didn't want to do that. And then we'll undo the multiplying. I don't care what's on the right side. I divide both sides by 3. I think that's what you meant. 3 into this one. Each one, this is distributive property of division over subtraction. I'm allowed to do that. Now, the problem with this is not going to be in the right order. For some of you, it's a problem. I kind of like it in the wrong order because it actually makes you focus on what the slope is and what the y-intercept is. You memorize mx plus b, but I could have written y equals b plus mx. It doesn't matter. The slope is always the number that's with the x. So this is the slope. But I'm almost going to miss the negative sign, but I'm not. So the slope is negative 2/3. No x's. Yes. Yeah. And b, what's b? Where do we begin? It's backwards, but that's okay. What's b? 2. So if I wanted to do it the other way, if I have 3y equals, for those of you who like to keep things in order, when you add these, put the x's first. They're the same thing. I'm allowed to do that. Minus 2x plus 6. Now when you divide by the 3, you're going to tell me on the next example which way you want me to do it, because I don't really care. Then it's in the right order. It's negative 2/3 times x. I'm even going to put a times sign there, plus 2. It's the same thing. What's the slope? The slope is the number you multiply by x. The slope measures what? How steep the line is. What does the negative sign mean, Rusbin? Take your headset off. We're not doing that. We're doing this. What does a negative slope mean? Which way do we read? Do we read left to right, or do we read right to left? Left to right. Unless you're in Hebrew or Arabic, then it's right to left. So it's confusing, isn't it? So we're going to do this, left to right. So a negative slope means that if you're at the top of the hill, you're going to go down the hill. If you have a positive slope, it means you're at the bottom of the hill going up the hill. Always. Make that go up. Okay, so that negative sign is important. Some of you are having a little difficulty with the negatives. We're going to have a little quiz today, and it's going to be on graphing. And let me look again at it. It's not terribly difficult. Uh-oh, I think I have somebody else. No, that's mine. It's going to be graphing. You have 3 lines to graph and write the equation of the line. Whoops. No, we'll do some more problems. But that's the content. Okay, let's do that one. And if somebody wants to come up and do it, we do a lot of that in the other class, where students actually come up and do it. I want to get y all by itself. So we're going to isolate y. Solitary confinement. So I like to circle what I want alone, and that's the one. Then I know right away, I don't want to move the y, I want to move what? The x's. And how do I get rid of a positive 2x? Minus 2x. And this is when I fell in love with algebra. I can't do 6 minus 2x. They're not the same things. It's like $6 minus 2 apples. I still have $6 minus 2 apples. I can't do it. So I didn't have to do the arithmetic. So, Matt, how do you want to do this? It's up to you. Your decision here. Do you want the x's first, or do you just want to keep it in order in which it's written? Okay, so what's going to go here? What kind of 2? Careful. What kind of a 2? Negative 2. I know you don't think the negatives are that important, but they're critical. And then what happens? What kind of 6 is that? Plus 6. Okay, what's the slope? Almost. Don't forget the signs. The slope is negative 2. It's m times x plus b. What's b equal to? 6. It's the same as solving equations that we've always done. The difference is this time we have an x there. Before we didn't have the x's. We had the 2. And then you could combine the 6 and the negative 2. You could do that. I can't do it now. So actually, guess what? This is easier. I don't have to know what 6 take away 2 is. Okay, so anybody want to try it? Okay. If I do that now. Okay, I'm going to circle the y. Okay, Chris? What do you want to do to solve for y? I want this guy all by itself. But somebody's being added to that 2y. What do you want to get rid of? I want this one all alone. Now, I don't divide. We undo the adding, subtracting first. What do you want to subtract? What do you want to get rid of? What do you want to eliminate? I can, but then 2y is going to be over there with 8. And it's still not alone. Which one do we want to get rid of? This is you. This is your little brother. You don't want your little brother tagging along, do you? You want to get rid of the little brother. So what do you want to get rid of? What do you guys think? Yeah. What is what? Negative 3x. So what do you do to get rid of them? You plus 3x. Now, remember, everything, I can't prove it, but everything happens in 2's. So if I add 3x to the left side, I better add 3x to the other side. So, Zach, what do I get on the other side? What's this give me? We read left to right. If we can get into that habit of left to right, math becomes a lot easier. What does that give me? Oh, 0. Good. And what am I left with here? What's still all by itself? 2, 5. Matt, you need to sit someplace else? No. Okay. What happens now? What are you going to, you're going to have to add these, right? But I can't add them. I can add them. I can't simplify them. Hear that? Xavier, what am I going to do? Headsets off. No headsets. Or I'll take the iPads away and give you hard copies. Not appropriate. Okay. I'm going to be tough on that, Katie. Yeah. You can't get any easier than that, can you? I don't have to add them. So you have it all done? Yeah, you need to be working actively on it. And now I don't want 2y. I'm going to divide by 2. Everybody over here has to be divided by 2. It's not fair if you don't. Okay, and Matt, I'll have you sit up front, please. So y equals, I have a cord over there. You can charge off my cord there. So I understand. I have a cord there. Plug in over there. So what is this here? This is 3/2 x plus what? Question? Plus what? 4. Okay, Max, either one of you. What's the slope? If you have to write mx plus b to do that, then do that. You're right. Don't ever put an x with it. It's 3/2, because I'll mark it wrong. Now, the other Max, what's b? There's only one obvious choice. Yeah. See, don't make math hard. Math is not hard. Math tells you what to do. If I know I want to isolate y, then I got to get it all by itself. The orange cord right there. I have a long orange cord. Okay? You guys try that. On your own, try that. So change to the next slide on your own. Yeah, we got a bunch of problems. Somebody can actually come up with their answers up. Everybody needs to participate. I will collect it then, since you don't want to write it down. I don't like to. It's a lot of extra work for me, for you not taking responsibility for your job. Your job is to take the notes and participate. So let's see what he's got here. So he subtracted x from both sides. He didn't show that, but I'm okay with that. I'm just going to write it over here. It's a little neater. It's not, when you're not used to writing on the smartboard, it's not easy, by the way. I've had this for 7 years now, so I'm better at it. There, that's what he did. So he gets 2y equals, and he put the x's first, which is just fine, and then he divided by 2. Because this is the time when I get to assess whether or not you're ready to do the homework and take it home and get it done. So you do have to do it. It's not an option. And that's a 1/2. It's just hard for him to write. So his answer is negative 1/2 x plus 5. What's half of 10? Thank you for asking. Katie, can you see okay? You have it done, Matt? No. So you need to be working on it. I know you're behind. But we're going to go on. Slide with example 4 and have you guys do it. And we're going to hold your iPads up with your answers. Yes, that's the subtraction sign. There is no such thing as an underscore in math. So The only thing it could be is a subtraction, right? There's no, if it were multiplication, I'd have parentheses. You need help? Do you have your slide up? And don't forget you need the x. It is here, you guys. She just didn't extend the board. So her answers are on the left in red. They are there. So this is why two negatives make a positive. That's right. This is positive 3/5 x minus 3. And that's why she said the slope was 3/5 and the y-intercept was negative 3. It's just solving equations. Now, you guys, you have to know the rules and you have to follow the rules. If you know the rules, which means you have to know the vocabulary, you have to know what happens with two negative numbers when you're multiplying or dividing, and let me see what you have. And you just have to apply them. And if you just follow the rules, math is easy. Because you haven't tried. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one. Very last one. So pinch your screen. There's not enough room, but pinch your screen, and then you can do it. Okay, so those of you who have not done the notes, you need to do them. I'm going to collect this today. You can submit it in the Dropbox when you have it all done. And I'm going to give you a chance to do this. And I'm going to go run and get the worksheets because I forgot them. Somebody said, guys, Emily, somebody said it doesn't make sense. It does. You want, okay, Chris, you want y all by itself. I don't want to see, okay, guys, I'm expecting to be quiet. Zach? Max? I want to get y all by itself. Negative x is added in there. Okay, Matt? Y is not alone. How do you get rid of a negative x? A positive x. Now, you got to do this to both sides. Okay? So, Chris, do you have an answer here? Well, help me out right now. What is this going to give me if I did it right? 0. So, careful. We always read left to right. You guys like to start from the right to the left, and that's not good. Okay, Rusman, over there, and I'm taking your iPad away then, I guess, or phone, whatever you're listening to. No. No. You're not doing anything. Okay. So, what is left here? Waste my time. Waste the class's time. We still have a quiz today. What is going to happen there? Yep, a little quiz. Real short. What's still left here? Zach? negative y. If you lost the negative sign, you made a mistake. Equals, and you want to put the 2 first or the x first. It makes no difference. Luke, what's your choice? Yeah, negative 1? Yeah, perfect. Okay, what do you get now? What do you get when you add those? Matt, what do you get when you add 2 and x? How easy can you get? It's 2 plus x. Now, I don't want a negative with my y, so we have to undo that. What are we going to do? Divide by what? And it's Demonte. He said put the negative 1 there. We'll divide by negative 1. Now it's clear there's a number there. Negative 1 and negative 1. Let's simplify that. And so y equals negative, what's 2 divided by negative 1? Negative 2. And a negative 1, a positive 1x divided by a negative 1 is a negative 1x. What is b and what is m? What's the, okay, the slope is negative, not no x's, just the number. It's a measurement of that. Okay, so Xavier, you need to be working on this. Good, good. Okay, we have a little quiz. I have a worksheet too, but are there any questions on graphing? Like if I wanted to graph that in particular, this problem, how do you graph that? Let's just review that quickly and then we'll take the quiz. You gotta find it. Okay, where do you begin? I'm gonna have to slide my graph. You're gonna have to draw in your own graph. I don't think there's any built-in graphs, but that's okay. Where do we begin on this? Luke, do you know where we begin? Yeah, where do we begin? We begin at where? It says begin right here. Begin negative 2. Where? On the y-axis, which is right there. Xavier, how do I get the next point on my line? I'll help you out. I have to, tells me how steep. Matt wants to help you. Matt, what did you find out? Down 1 and over. Which way is over? To the right. Because we know a negative slope will always go down the hill. And I can go backwards too. And you get a nice little staircase kind of thing there. So if you know how to do that, you know how to do the quiz. What if I told you we have, well, I'm out of the last one. The slope is equal to 5, and the y-intercept is at 0, 4. What's the equation of the line? Now remember, it's y equals, I'm going to change colors, m, that's an unknown, x, plus b. Those are numbers. What are you going to put in for m? 5. It should be easy. And what are you putting in for b? This one's a little trickier. 4. So my equation would look like y equals 5x plus 4. Okay. That's what we're going to do. Now, you do not have to take your homework